Hi, good morning, everybody. Dr. Brenda Hasselbrock here today with the Wellness Way in Houston Memorial. And today we're going to just talk briefly about the flu shot. Three things we want to look at is, does it work? Is it safe? And what can you do? All right. So the first question, let's look at, does it work? And I'm going to reference some different information that I found on the internet. This is from the CDC website. As you know, CDC is the Center for Disease Control. And they conduct studies every year to see how well the flu vaccine protects against the flu virus. So this is what they said. While the vaccine effectiveness can vary, recent studies show that the flu vaccine reduces the risk of flu illness between 40 and 60% among the overall population, 50-50. All right, what are factors that influence how well the vaccine works? This is, again, still from the CDC website. How well the flu vaccine works, or its ability to prevent the flu, can range widely from season to season. And we know that. They talk about different strains that come in different years, right? The vaccine's effectiveness can also vary depending on who's being vaccinated. So who's the population? At least two factors play an important role in determining the likelihood the flu vaccine will protect from a person from the flu virus. Okay, number one, characteristic of the person being vaccinated. So such things as their age and their health. That makes sense. All right, number two, similarly, the similarity or match between the flu virus and the flu vaccine designed to protect against the flu viruses spreading that community. Because we know there's different strains, so matching which strains are coming this year with the vaccine is going to have some influence on how effective it is, right? During the years when the flu vaccine is not well matched to circulating influenza viruses, it is possible that no benefit from flu vaccination may be observed. So it may not work at all. All right, now from the National Vaccine Information Center, it's nvic.org, reported that a CDC analysis of flu vaccine effectiveness for the past decade, from 2005 to 2015, demonstrated more than half the time flu shots are less than 50% effective. Again, at best, 50-50. In 2004-2005, the flu failed 90% of the time from 2004 to 2005. And last year failed 77% of the time. Estimates for flu shot effectiveness this year are not very impressive either. Does it work? Question number one. Based on these reports, it's not very reliable or very effective. So let's go ahead and go to question number two. Is it safe? All right. So this is from the British Medical Journal, a very prestigious journal in the medical field. This enormous growth has not been fueled by popular demand, the growth of the flu vaccine virus, the flu vaccine shot, but instead it is by a public health campaign that delivers a straightforward, who in their right mind could possibly disagree message that influenza is a very serious disease. We're all at risk of complications from the influenza, and the flu shot is virtually risk-free, and vaccinations save lives. So this is what's been promoted. So, you know, we were talking earlier before I got online, and it's like people just take it because that's what we're supposed to do, right? Doctor to patient, year after year, this is what we've been taught to do, what we've been trained to do for these reasons. However, with closer examination of influenza vaccine policy shows that although proponents employ the rhetoric of science, they're using science to promote it, the studies underlying the policy are often of low quality and do not substantiate official claims. The vaccine might be less beneficial and less safe than has been claimed, and the threat of influenza appears to be overrated. So the benefits of it have been overrated, and the seriousness of the flu virus has been overrated in this promotion that's going on. So one of our biggest concerns when it comes to is it safe are the things that are put into the vaccine, and they call them adjuvants, and they're used to help the vaccine work like it's supposed to. And some of these things, the ingredient lists are on the CDC website, so you can take a look at that if you're interested. Thimerosal. Thimerosal is mercury. It's the second most toxic metal in the world, only second to plutonium. So there's thimerosal. They use it as a preservative. Aluminum salts, they use formaldehyde to inactivate the viruses, and antibiotics such as neomycin and gentamicin. So all of these things plus more are actually in the flu vaccine. So not so great. I don't really want those things injected into my body. Also, the CDC website again, in 1976, there was a small increased risk of GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, following vaccination with an influenza vaccine made to protect us against the swine flu virus. The increased risk was approximately one additional case of Guillain-Barré syndrome per 100,000 people who got the swine flu vaccine. I'm going to ask Amber to step in and help me for just a second. Amber's my lovely assistant. Come on in, Amber. So it's the risk was 1 in 100,000. But she has a personal story. Would you mind just sharing your story, Amber?
Sure. My sister, she received the flu shot, and I'm not exactly sure how far it was when she developed Guillain-Barré syndrome, but I'm assuming it was in the fall because around January is when she got very sick, shortly after New Year's. And it started with tingling in her fingers. And, well, let me rewind a little bit. She was coughing a lot. And, just thinking it's just a common cold or something like that. But then tingling started, and the next day she couldn't walk. She just woke up and she just couldn't walk. It happened so fast for her. And so the neighbor came and took her downstairs, and when she was admitted into the hospital, days were going by and they just could not figure out what was going on with her. Now, again, she went from tingling in her fingers to the next day not walking. So can you imagine each day?
In like a 24-hour period?
Right.
Wow.
Each day, it was very fast. So, we're all worried, like, what's going on? There's no answers. And
so scary.
It is very scary. And it came to the point where my parents were thinking, okay, like, do we have to start making funeral arrangements? Because everything was shutting down. She wasn't conscious anymore. Like, it was horrible. So eventually they figured out what was going on, and they began treatment with her, and she had to learn how to do everything all over again. She had to learn how to swallow again, speak properly, walk. For a while, she had like a drop foot. She would walk, and the other foot was dragging. And
how old was she when that happened, Amber?
She was probably, it was in 2009. So she was mid-20s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. How is she now?
Now she, I wouldn't say she's fully recovered. She's walking fine again. She works out and everything, but the only thing is that lasting effect. Her smile will never be the same. Like she has like a half smile now. So, but other than that, she recovered from where she was. It's a major recovery.
Yeah. Well, thank God for that. Thank you for sharing that story. I appreciate it.
Thank
you, Amber. So this study from 1996 that the CDC is talking about, they said an additional one case of Guillain-Barré syndrome per 100,000. But if it happens to you, it's 100%. And this was in 2009 that happened with her sister. And Guillain-Barré syndrome, it's a rare disorder when a person's immune system damages their nerve cells. So it causes muscle weakness, sometimes paralysis, like Amber mentioned. It can cause symptoms that last just for a few weeks, and people can recover normally. Sometimes people have long-term nerve damage, like her sister. And then in rare cases, people can actually die from it. So then the CDC link also continued saying the link between GBS and the flu vaccination in other years is unclear. And there's, if there is a risk for GBS after seasonal flu vaccinations, they say it's very small. Okay, this is from Harvard Health. This is their myth buster. It says you catch the flu from the vaccine. And Harvard's saying this is a myth. It says the vaccine is made from inactivated virus, so you can't transmit the infection. So people who get sick after receiving the flu vaccination, they're going to get sick anyway. I'm going to get sick anyway. Why am I taking the flu shot, right? But people assume that because you got sick after getting the vaccine, that it was the shot that caused the illness. Okay. So again, I have a 50-50 chance it's going to help me. There's a chance that I just coincidentally could get sick right after taking it. No, thank you. Here's something that you need to remember. It's a business, all right? Vaccines, vaccinations, they're made by pharmaceutical companies, so it's a business. And the promotion, this is from the British Medical Journal. Again, it says, promotion of influenza vaccines is one of the most visible and aggressive public health policies today. 20 years ago, in 1990, so listen to this, 20 years ago, in 1990, 32 million doses of influenza vaccine were available in the U.S. 32 million. Today, around 135 million. 135 million doses of influenza vaccine annually enter the U.S. market, with vaccinations administered in drugstores, supermarkets, and even some drive-thrus. How about that? So convenient. All right. So with all this, does it work? Is it safe? Well, what can I do? All right. Well, there's a lot that you can do. Number one, prevention is the best medicine. Strengthen your immune system so that it can do its job. I was thinking about this morning. I don't remember if I've even ever had the flu before. If I did, it had to have been like decades ago, because I don't even remember. So strengthen your immune system. What weakens your immune system? We talk about this all the time at The Wellness Way, the 3 T's, traumas, toxins, and thoughts, right? Traumas, gosh, we've got the holidays coming up, so that involves traveling, so driving places, flying places, hosting parties, having family over, visiting family, sitting and standing, watching your kids in the stands as they're going through their sporting events at this time of year. So those are different things that can cause trauma to your body. Toxins, wow, this time of the year, tons of parties, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all kinds of parties all year. So we're eating party food, we're eating bad food, we're eating more food, and sometimes that even includes drinking. Thoughts, okay, if you live in Houston, one of the most stressful things right now is driving in Houston traffic and trying to get around from point A to point B. Very, very stressful. So there's a lot of stress associated with this time of year. Crazy crowds at the mall if you're trying to go shopping, just trying to get everything done on time, and be ready for the holidays. It's a very stressful time. So that's the 3 T's, traumas, toxins, and thoughts. With that being said, what can you do? All right, so number one, and I'm going to post this article down here. You should be able to find it. Avoid eating too much sugar and grains. Sugar, 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 bad, bad, bad. Just stay away from it. And there's so much available during this time of year. But here's what happens. Sugar and fructose, it disrupts your gut flora. It disrupts your GI tract. Why is that important? About 80% of your immune system comes from your gut, your GI tract. So the more sugar you put in there, the more it destroys it, the more it's going to affect how well your immune system can function. All right. Vitamin D, great resource. Up north, they actually get cold and can't go outside. Down here, we're expecting a cold front. I think it's going to be like 70 today. So we don't really have the extreme cold temperatures that they do up north. But what happens with our temperatures here is they go up and they go down, and they go up and they go down. So our bodies are constantly trying to adjust to that. Either way, even when the weather is nice, we just don't get outside much. And vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin. I mean, we pretty much go from our house to our car to our place of business and reverse at the end of the day. So vitamin D is always great. Get enough quality sleep. Your immune system rebuilds and repairs and heals while you're resting. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. Stress management. Okay, so whether that's prayer, meditation, just namaste all day, attitude, but even just as you're going through a stressful period in the day, just whistle or sing a song, and it's hard to be stressed or grumpy while you're whistling or singing a song, right? And then also exercise. So a study done by PubMed said that people who exercise regularly cut the likelihood of respiratory infections almost in half. So just by exercising and moving your body, your risk of getting a respiratory infection is cut in half. Also, exercise is another great way to help manage your stress during this time. So other things that you can do to boost your immune system: silver hydrosol, just the silver spray, great for boosting the immune. Vitamin D, like we talked about. L-lysine, it's an amino acid. It's wonderful for viruses, so flu viruses, cold viruses. L-lysine works very well. Zinc is another good one. Other supplements to boost your immune: vitamin C. I'm a big fan of vitamin C. Oregano oil, medicinal mushrooms, olive leaf extract. So let's just recap here. Flu shots. Does it work? Based on these reports, not very reliable, not very effective, 50-50 at best, right? Is it safe? We know there's questionable substances in the flu vaccine, and they're intentionally put in there to create a reaction in the body, so some inflammation in the body. So we know that it's put in there, and we know that they can cause negative side effects, and that puts us at risk. So what can you do? The best defense against the flu is a rock-solid immune system. So manage your 3 T's. Don't fall victim to the flu season this year. Instead, allow your immune system to do its job, strengthen its environment by doing the things that we talked about. You can also find a Wellness Way doctor near you to help you choose a different path for you and your family. Look us up at twwclinics.com, and I also posted a couple of little things, other links for you to look at. I want to let you know tonight is our inflammation dinner talk at 6:30 at Churrasco's. We still have seats available, so if you're interested in coming, reach out to us, message me, or call the office 713-780-8343. It's at 6:30 at Churrasco's, and we'd like to invite you to join us. All right, y'all have a great day. See you next time.